Hey guys, this is Arsenal Giants PS3 and this is episode 2 of season 5 of our Bolton Wanderers manager mode commentary. And last episode I asked you guys to leave a shortlist of the players that I should be bringing into the club, and I have a very large shortlist here. So first we have Hugo Lloris, goalkeeper, then we have Thiago Silva, Neymar, Mats Hummels, Steve Mandanda, Sergio Ramos, Falcao, Philip Lahm, Eden Hazard, Merrick Hamsik, Dani Alves. A lot of these players are going to be very expensive. I can't bring in all the players obviously. Then we have Neven Subotic, Rene Adler, Martin Sketlenberg, Eric Lamela. A lot of these players are going to be really expensive. Samuel Eto'o, Fabio Contral, Stefan Umbia, Angelo Ogbonna from my old club, Brian Ruiz from my first season at Fulham, Micah Richards, Xherdan Shaqiri obviously from Sunderland, Tony Cruz, Matthew Debuchy, Romeo Lukaku and Fernandinho, and of course this bloke Connor Lerembrech, can't pronounce that for stuff. So I'm going to try and bring in a lot of those players if I can, but this is the transfer list of players. I also asked you guys to leave comments on who I should be transfer listing, and it was basically over half of the team pretty much. A lot of these players are below average, quite old, or just not really good enough for the team. A lot of the players like Ibrahimovic, Luka Modric are going to be staying. Of course, I'm not going to be transfer listing them. So first off, we got a 9.5 million for Tiote from Olympique Lyon, and as his transfer value is 11.5 million, that is just not enough for me. So here we are, on to our first players we are bringing into the club. Xherdan Shaqiri from our old club Sunderland for 16.5 million and Matty Debuchy for 8 million. So some pretty shrewd transfers right there. I slightly overpaid on Xherdan Shaqiri I think, but he's a quality player. And then Lyon came in yet again with another offer of 11 million for Tiote. I was thinking that's a pretty good offer. I just went a little bit more though, but I wasn't sure whether they were going to come in. Then we got offers for Blakeman of 1.3 million, so I accepted that to Leicester City, and we got a 7 million offer from Marseille for Agbonlahor, a little bit under his transfer value, but I just thought, you know what, accept it anyway. So now I had a bit of a predicament. Do I bring in Mats Hummels, Falcao or Subotic? Because these players are quite expensive, and I just thought, you know what, let's go all out for quality. Gonna bring in Hummels and Falcao. That's pretty much all my transfer budget and everything gone. I might bring in Subotic later on if I can raise some cash, and unfortunately Olympique Lyon do not want Tiote after. I was kind of hoping they would offer a little bit more cash, but sadly they couldn't. So now it's about getting much more cash from the team and bringing other players. So we got a 2.7 million offer for this bloke. He had pretty good potential, and Chris Eagle, so those are off. And now these are the players that I want to bring in. We have a 16 million offer for Steve Mandanda, the 16 million offer for Subotic, then the 25.5 million for Eric Lamela, and a 33.5 million for Hamsik. So those are a lot of cash we need to be bringing up. So here we go, we're going to be flogging off Nigel Rio-Coker back to his old club. I think it's old club anyway, Aston Villa. In fact, I don't think it was actually, for 1.9 million. And also we're going to be selling off Steinson to Queen's Park Rangers. It's only a small amount of cash for him, but it's all that counts together. Then we're going to sell Bogdan here for 3.3 million to Queen's Park Rangers. Running out of quality goalkeepers really, so we're going to have to bring in Steve Mandanda. Then we sold Wheater to Blackburn for 3.6 million. He's pretty old now and not really that great, so I was quite happy to get some cash from that. Then we sold Marcos Alonso for 1.9 million and Eves for 1.4 million. A lot of these players have been flogged off. I'm going to have like a tiny squad. So as we go into our first pre-season match against St Etienne, we have Jussi Jääskeläinen, Debuchy, Hummels, Clark, Andre Santos, Alexis Sanchez, Luka Modric, Tiote, Xherdan Shaqiri, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Falcao. If I'm pronouncing any of them wrong, please correct me in the comments section, as that would be greatly appreciated. So on to our first match now, and I'm not going to be showing you all the highlights like I usually do. I'm just going to be showing you shorter highlights, as this is pre-season friendlies. They're not really too interesting, but they are quite helpful to me to see how the team is going to play, what sort of style of play I should adopt, and like if I want to be more attacking than usual. But we get off to a really good start here over the top for Romeo Falcao, goes for the shot, and good save by the keeper, but Ibrahimovic on the rebound heads it into the back of the net to put us 1-0 up, and that is a fantastic start. Look at that from Ibra, just jumping above the rest and heads it into the back of the net. And yet again we're on the attack. Alexis Sanchez going down the flank, nobody can catch up to him, and he spots Falcao in the centre, just gonna put it into him, and he slots it into the back of the net. And I can tell this team is going to be an awesome team to play with. They just have so much attacking quality. Defensively, not so good, as we can see here. Aubameyang, I can't pronounce his name at all, I'm sorry. But Aubameyang through on goal, just dribbling away from my defenders, and then Alonso puts it in the back of the net to get one back for St Etienne. I was a little bit frustrated with that because we do have a couple of quality players now in defence. I wasn't expecting to concede so quickly. I mean, the defence isn't that great, but, you know, then Zlatan Ibrahimovic had a shot, well saved by the keeper, and again we're on the attack. Falcao playing some nice football here with Luka Modric, through on goal now, just needs to get a little bit of space, turns inside, the shot is saved by the defender, but then Falcao just puts it into the back of the net to put us 3-1 up just before half time. And that was a pretty nice poacher goal from Falcao, as he is well known for. So at half-time it is 3-1 to us. And I just want to bring on a few more players. We're going to bring on Xavier Hernandez and Lee Chong-yon. I was going to say Xavier Hernandez for some reason, I don't know why, I may have seen X-Men or something. But anyway, on the attack once again, Ibrahimovic playing through Hernandez, and he lays it off to Ibra, and he just puts it in the back of the net, just smashes it in there. And Ibrahimovic, a lot of people are saying, oh, you should flog off Ibra, he's a bit old now. No way am I flogging off Ibrahimovic, he is a quality player. And Hernandez snatches it off there from the defender, plays through Ibra, just cuts inside it and then takes it and puts it past the keeper, and that completes his hat-trick. And he's already got a hat-trick, and he is just such a quality player. I could never flog him off. In fact, in terms of strikers on FIFA, he has to be right up there. He is a quality player. But yet again, our defensive frailties were a bit obvious here, and what is Jussi Jääskeläinen doing? He just drops the ball, and Aubameyang, I hate pronouncing his name, always an Ultimate Team as well, and he puts it in the back of the net to get one back yet again for St Etienne. But on the attack once again, Xherdan Shaqiri cuts inside here, tries for the finesse, and a pretty good save by the keeper, keeps it out. But that is full time. Bolton 5, St Etienne 2. A great start to the season, and we really have some attacking power, but defensively not so good. So here we are bringing in Steve Mandanda for 16 million, a little bit overpriced if I may say so, but here's an overall of 88. I wanted to bring in Hugo Lloris, but he was just so expensive I couldn't at all, and so we are trying to recoup as much money as possible to bring in some other players. So we got an £8 million offer here for Mark Davies from Tottenham, 2 million under his transfer value, but I accepted it nonetheless. And we got another offer from Tottenham, 9 million for Cheick Tiote, and that is not nearly enough for his services. We also got another offer for one of our players, a 2.2 million offer for Rod Fanny from Blackburn, and I do want to have just an extra right back just in case Debuchy gets injured. So this is our squad as we go into our second pre-season match. Steve Mandanda, Debuchy, Hummels, Clark, Andre Santos, Alexis Sanchez, Luka Modric, Cheick Tiote, Xherdan Shaqiri, Ibrahimovic and Falcao. That is turning into an epic team. But now we play against AS Roma, and they do have the one player that I do want, Eric Lamela. He is starting for them, so that's going to be really interesting to see him play. And as we saw in last match, I'm only going to be showing small amounts of highlights, as I just want to keep these pre-season matches going quite quickly and quite smoothly. But Roma got off to a pretty good start. The header just went over, and this is from the goal kick from that miss. And what the hell am I doing here? I saw the player standing in front of one of my defenders. I thought, oh, okay, I'll pass it to the other defender. And then at the last second, he just moves on, and I am just such an idiot. So we go 1-0 down, unfortunately, to that stupidity from myself. Steve Mandanda not getting off to the best of starts at his Bolton career, but Ibrahimovic once again gets us back into the match with a fantastic header, a great crossing actually, and Ibra was always going to win those headers to equalise for us. And again we're on the attack. Alexis Sanchez crosses it in, and it comes out eventually to Ibra. He's going to try and finesse that, and a slightly good save there from the keeper. I don't know, maybe he should have just left it. It might have gone out of play anyway, but at half-time it was AS Roma 1, Bolton 1. And again, we were going to bring on Hernandez and Lee Chong-yon. I actually get quite a few comments saying don't make any half-time substitutions because that means that the player form drops. So if that actually happens, I'm kind of sorry. I don't know if that's true or not, but again, AS Roma got off to a good start in the second half. Steve Mandanda is called into action several times, and you see there, that is actually a really quality save from Mandanda. You can't really see it from that replay, but it was a fantastic save from Mandanda. But again, AS Roma on the attack, and this time Pazzini does put it in the back of the net to make Roma 2-1 up. Again, our defensive frailties really on show there. Mandanda maybe should have had a bit quicker reactions, but we do try and get back into the match. Falcao wins the header head, just went straight over the bar though, a pretty poor header in the end. But Roma just on the attack, just towards the end of the match now. Bojan Kritic just managed to find Tadai, I think that's how you pronounce it, Tadai, and he puts it in the back of the net yet again. Mondander looking a little bit suspect, I don't know, maybe he could have got down lower a bit quicker. We do have one last chance though, just trying to make anything of this chance, just trying to get one goal back. Sanchez blasts it across to Falcao, and unfortunately he can't get one back for us. So at full time it was AS Roma 3, Bolton Wanderers 1, which was slightly disappointing if I am honest. We did have the superior team to them, but we got another offer for Rod Fanny from Blackburn of 2.6 million, and I decided to accept it so we can bring in some other players. We've also got another offer, this time a £9 million offer from Manchester City for Aaron Lennon, and I thought that's just too much under his transfer value to accept that. Hopefully they'll offer a little bit more, and they do offer more, this time 10.5 million, and I do accept it, and that is going to bring us a lot of money. But unfortunately we get a horrible injury to Luka Modric. He's out for 3 months with a broken toe, and just before the start of the season, that is absolutely devastating. I don't know whether to bring in another centre attacking midfielder or just sort of leave it for now, maybe bring in another player and hope he just comes up from injury in time. So instead I'm going to be playing Walter Gargano in his place. He is normally a central defensive midfielder, so not going to get much creativity out of him, but against Hamburg now, and they really are a frustrating team to play against. They are just so solid at the back, and it was very hard to break Hamburg down. We do have a great chance here though. Ibra on the volley from a Falcao over the top through ball. Bit unlucky there, but Hamburg were just such a tough team to play against. They were so solid in defence, but Ibra plays through Alexis Sanchez, spots Falcao in the centre, crosses it in, and Falcao heads it in the back of the net to put us 1-0 ahead. And after that goal, I just sort of felt that, you know, it's going to go our way. Now we do have the momentum, as people say. I don't know if there is any FIFA momentum or any of that stuff, but it just seemed that we had all the momentum at that point, and Falcao puts us 2-0 ahead, and Hamburg were just not threatening whatsoever. They were all concentrating on defence, and they were just not that good at it, to be honest. Cheick just puts the player on a little bit of pressure. Sakiri with the ball. Now I haven't seen much of him so far. Turns the defender and then just finesses it into the back of the net. A great finish from Shaqiri to open his Bolton Wanderers account to put us 3-0 ahead. A great turn there and a pretty nice finish in the back of the net. So at half time it was Bolton 3-0 up against Hamburg, and Hamburg were just not offering anything whatsoever in terms of attack. They were just hoping to keep us out for as long as possible, but unfortunately for Hamburg, Shaqiri breaking through the centre and is taken down, brought down for the penalty. Goalkeeper is not too sure. Let's have a look at the replay here. The defender gets a slight touch, but here's the actual penalty incident, and Shaqiri is sent into the air. I'm not really too sure myself, but Ibra steps up. Can he score it? Of course he does. He puts us 4-0 up from the penalty spot, and at this point Hamburg were just all over and done with, really. Hamburg couldn't mount any sort of attack whatsoever, and I promise you I haven't changed any of the sliders or anything like that, and Shaqiri just playing with the defender, floats in a cross, and Falcao puts us 5-0 up with the header. That was a fantastic header, and also a great cross from Shaqiri. Just picks out Falcao perfectly, and that header, not even the goalkeeper could do anything about it whatsoever. And Walter Gargano with a great tackle there starts the attack, and Falcao, not with too much space really, has to find Gargano, and he just smashes it into the back of the net to put us now 6-0 ahead. And I promise you guys, I have not changed anything. Hamburg just completely capitulated. They just fell apart, and you know, I'm going to take advantage of that. And yet again, Xherdan Shaqiri breaking down the flank at pace, at his own will, can do whatever he wants, floats in another cross, and Ibra with yet again another header puts us 7-0 ahead. And I promise you, I have not changed anything. This has just been an absolute humiliation for Hamburg. They do have one attack though, at last day attack, and it's a sweaty little goal there, but I'm going to give them that. It's not sweaty, it is the AI, and you know, at least they got a consolation at least. But at full time it was Bolton Wanderers 7, Hamburg 1. They were completely annihilated, and we do have a £1 million offer here for Real maybe. Going to accept it. In fact, no, I'm not going to accept it, rather hopefully get a little bit more for him. And we do have a 1.2 million offer for Andre Santos from that team in the top right hand corner. And anyway guys, that has been this episode, but no, we're not done yet. Just going to do a little bit more transfer biz. I'm going to try and bring in Chris Cito. I saw a lot of comments for him, and hopefully can bring him in to really solidify our defence with another great player. So now it's time for goal of the episode, and first we have the Ibrahimovic goal against AS Roma. Shaqiri doing really well on the flank and then heads it into the back of the net. It was a pretty nice goal because of the passing leading up to it, and then it was a very strong header. And now we have the Romeo Falcao goal against Hamburg, another header, but this time some great wing play from Shaqiri and a fantastic cross, and at the end a great header from Falcao. So anyway guys, please leave a comment on which one you think should be goal of the episode. I'll be really interested to see that. And now it's time for player of the episode, and just by the sheer amount of goals that he scored and his link-up play, it has to be Ibra. He is just such a phenomenal player. Phenomenal player. I can't even say it myself, but nonetheless, he is a quality player, and he was just scoring crazy amount of goals this episode, and he is a fantastic player. So anyway guys, thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, if you could leave a thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.